Imagine starting your day off by rushing out the door only to sit in traffic for hours. You watch the clock tick as your fuel gauge dips lower, your stress is rising higher, and the fumes from surrounding cars cloud the air. For millions of Americans, this isn't just a rare inconvenience, but rather a daily reality. A reality that doesn't just affect our time, but also our health, our environment, and even our financial well being. Now, think about how this could be different. Imagine a commute where you don't have to worry about traffic, where you can sit back, relax, and maybe even get some work done. Today, I want to talk about a solution that could transform this exhausting ritual, improving our public transportation system. Our city government must take decisive action to enhance and expand public transportation to reduce congestion, lower pollution, and increase accessibility for everyone. In the next few minutes, we're going to be discussing the harmful effects of our current transportation system, the causes behind these issues, and solutions that can address these problems effectively. So, what are the harmful effects? First, let's consider some of the harmful effects caused by our outdated and underfunded transportation system. According to the Texas A&M Transportation Institute, urban congestion costs Americans 8.8 billion hours every year. That's more than the population of New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago combined. Stuck in traffic, wasting time that could be used on self-care, spending time with loved ones, or just unwinding. And beyond lost time, this gridlock creates stress, frustration, and yes, even road rage. When you think about how much time and energy we collectively waste just sitting in traffic, it's clear that we're in desperate need of change. Environmental impact. Cars release pollutants like carbon dioxide. They release these carbon dioxide, which is one of the leading factors to harming our health. Besides affecting the planet, polluted air can lead to respiratory issues like asthma, especially in vulnerable populations like children and the elderly. The American Lung Association has even reported a direct link between traffic pollution and increased asthma attacks and heart issues. Imagine the lives we could improve and save by reducing the number of cars on the road. Accessibility and equality. Let's not forget the economic and social impacts. Poor transportation disproportionately affects low-income families who often rely on public transport to get to work, school, or essential services. Without reliable transportation, people are cut off from the opportunities that could improve their lives. Studies show that neighborhoods with limited transit options see lower economic mobility, keeping communities trapped in poverty. Public transportation isn't just a convenience, but a pathway to opportunity and equality. Now that we're understanding the scope of these issues, we're going to explore some of the root causes behind these harmful effects. What are these harmful effects and how are they caused? So, our government budgets prioritize roads and highways over public transit. Public transportation often receives a fraction of the funding compared to highways. This lack of investment means fewer buses, outdated trains, and reliable schedules. When public transit is inconsistent, people lose trust in viable option, leading to further underfunding and a vicious cycle. Imagine trying to catch a train that is 30 minutes late every day. Eventually, you'd give up and drive instead, adding to the traffic we all hate. Aging infrastructure. Much of our public transportation system was built decades ago and hasn't seen significant updates. And cities like New York, with subway systems over 100 years old, face constant breakdowns, delays, and safety issues. This is a picture of the subway from New York, very outdated. These buses and trains that are constantly breaking down or delayed make people hesitant to rely on public transit. Updating these systems requires a commitment to both regular maintenance and modernization, which currently isn't happening at the scale needed. Car-centric culture. America has long prioritized cars over public transportation for many, Owning a car is seen as a sign of independence, while public transit is something stigmatized. This mindset discourages investment in transit infrastructure, leading to a culture where cars are seen as the primary mode of transport. Yet, this car-centric view is not only costly but also unsustainable. In fact, countries like that invest more heavily in public transit, like Germany and Japan, report lower congestion and pollution levels and happier, more connected communities. Having examined these causes, let's now discuss the solutions that could help us tackle these issues and build a better future. We could increase funding for public transit. First, we would need to make funding for public transportation a priority at both the local and federal levels. By allocating more government budgets towards transit, cities could improve their infrastructure, add more routes, and update schedules to make public transport a reliable option. We could implement dedicated bus lanes. It would look something like this. So, implementing dedicated bus lanes would allow for buses to not have to compete with regular traffic. We could also transition to eco-friendly vehicles. Transitioning to these vehicles, such as electric or hybrid buses, could dramatically reduce emissions. Cities like Seattle and Los Angeles have already adopted these eco-friendly buses or cars, which can look like this. So the road to better public transportation is within our reach, but only if we take action. Let's work together to advocate for a system that's sustainable, accessible, and ready for the future. Improving public transportation can lead to a cleaner, more efficient, and more equitable society.